Here we are live, SFC The Catch 2025 with our good friend, former NFL tight end great Kyle Rudolph, ready to do some fishing here this weekend. My friend, how's everything going? Are you ready?
Everything's great. Yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to get out on the water tomorrow.
How much bill fishing have you done out in the ocean like
Oh,
this?
hardly any.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the Midwest. Most of the fishing I've done in my life is freshwater fishing. So really looking forward to getting out on the saltwater tomorrow.
What do people say? Because this is the third year of The Catch, and we hear this a lot when people come in, and we're from Missouri as well, so we get it. We're Truman Lake, Lake of the Ozarks, and so when people come in, what have some other people, maybe former players or people that you've talked to, told you about what challenges you might face out here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly looking to rely heavily on our pros. Also, I brought a former teammate of mine, Blaine Gabbert, down. So Blaine is an avid fisherman. He keeps his boat just north here in West Palm, so he knows the area pretty well. He's been scoping it out. So I think I like our chances with Blaine and our pros.
Well, just being teammates with Blaine Gabbert at Tampa Bay, your last season, you got to play with Tom Brady his last season. Just kind of take us through that experience. I know you guys played the Chiefs. You didn't play that game, but any remembrances of that?
Yeah, no, it certainly was a year that didn't go as expected for us as a team, for me personally. But all in all, it was a cool experience to be able to be around Tom on a daily basis, get to see the way he goes to work. It certainly didn't play against the Chiefs. The big thing that I remember from that week was we had evacuated during the week because of the hurricane.
That's right. They almost moved the game, I think.
Yeah, so there was talks throughout the course of the week if the game was going to get moved to Minneapolis or not, and we are going to play in US Bank Stadium, which to me would have been cool to be out there. Very familiar with that building. So we were in actually Miami from Tuesday until Friday, and then flew back to Tampa on Friday and had the game on Sunday night. And the biggest thing I remember is just Travis Kelce going crazy. I played Travis in practice that week, and Blaine and I threw the ball all over our defense. So we're like, okay, this is probably not going to go too well because Patrick and Travis are certainly better than we are. I remember that Friday practice in Miami before we got on the plane, and Blaine and I kind of threw it all over the yard, and Todd brought it up after practice and was just pissed off at the defense, and we ended up watching the same thing happen on Sunday night.
What's it like? You spent 10 years in Minnesota and had a great NFL career, one of the great tight ends of this generation, certainly. But when you get to this stage of your life, when you get to participate in events like this, I mean, you got current players coming in here that are going to have to go to training camp in a couple of months and start the whole grind all over. Yeah. So for you, how is it to just be able to kick back and do events like this and take photos, get on shows, have fun, go fishing?
It's a ton of fun. And, I think that's one of the things when you transition away from the game, you have to find ways to still engage with the game, engage with guys that are still playing, former players, whether it's in these different pro-am fishing events, pro-am golf events, charity golf tournaments. So I think that's extremely important. For us, we identify as football players most at an early age, and all of a sudden, for me, I was 33 years old and I played my last game in the NFL. So it's like, okay, what now? What am I going to do next? And to have things like this, it's a ton of fun to get around a bunch of the guys, hang out. It kind of brings that locker room back that we're used to being in so regularly.
Yeah, and being a part of events like this, and you talked about different events, golf events. I know you've done Tight End University with Travis Kelce as well. Greg Olson are up there. Do you plan on going back this year? And what do you just make of Travis Kelce and his career?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get back this summer. Actually, in retirement, I started a platform called All True, and we raise money for celebrity-backed nonprofits. And, we worked with George Kittle last year during the season and supported a nonprofit in the Bay Area that he works closely with. So looking forward to getting to Nashville this summer and seeing George and Travis and Greg and those guys. And they've done such a great job kind of bringing a bunch of tight ends together over the summertime, and certainly having fun, but then also getting some work in and being able to use each other as resources. So it's been a ton of fun. And then, Trav specifically, we were the same class in high school, and, he was obviously in Cleveland. I was in Cincinnati. He came to Cincinnati as a quarterback. To see kind of where he's taken his career, arguably as one of the best tight ends that ever played the game, from a college quarterback recruit.
It was kicked off his own team.
Class. Correct. So, I've known Trav for a long time. I would consider Trav a good friend, and it's been a ton of fun to watch the success that he's had throughout his career.
Well, do you think he is the best tight end ever? I mean, you've got Gronk, you've got Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
Tony Gonzalez.
It's the tight end position is one where it's so unique because like Shannon Sharp was a wide receiver.
Yeah,
Shannon Sharp wasn't blocking anybody. Tony had incredible receiving numbers, but he would also get in and block. Jason Witten's a guy that's going to get in and block. Kellen Winslow, you go back at that time, like Kellen, basically, receiver. So, it really becomes like if we're looking at pure statistics, like you can't argue, Travis is the best ever. I think the tight end position as a whole, there's other things that go into account, in terms of being up there. Certainly what Rob was able to do pretty much over a 9-year period, certainly if he would have stayed healthy and played as long as Tony Gonzalez, like his numbers would have been off the chart. So
yeah.
I think when you look at the Mount Rushmore of tight ends, those guys are all on it, and deservedly so.
You're a pretty good one too, 2-time All-Pro. You actually were a Pro Bowl MVP, which doesn't mean anything to the generation of now, because what is the Pro Bowl?
Because they don't know what the Pro Bowl used to be like.
You played in
you
a
were
game.
The best dodgeball guy.
Yeah,
you were there and played football and won.
Yeah, I did MVP. The obstacle course the fastest. And no, I had to catch a seam ball that Eric Berry knocked my head off on in a Pro Bowl. So, it certainly was different back then. Obviously. It was in Hawaii at that time, and it was kind of just a celebration. I think that's where the league has gotten it wrong, in my opinion. Quit trying to change it from what it ultimately was. It's a celebration for those guys in each conference for an incredible season. And yeah, the game isn't going to be competitive. Well, the competitive game is the week after. So if you want to watch competitive football, tune into the Super Bowl. If you want to watch a bunch of guys that are as good as they come at their position, having a good time, turn on the Pro Bowl. But I don't necessarily know that the flag football, Pro Bowl games, obstacle course is what we're going for. But
what do you think changed that? Because it did used to be a competitive game back in the day. Is it the money, people thinking long term about, hey, if I tear my ACL on a Pro Bowl, then that could
yeah, no, I definitely think money plays a huge part in it. And just competitive nature, like I said, I still to this day remember catching a seam and Eric Berry knocking my head off. I was a young kid, and it's like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. It's football. But it is like I remember a few years after that, Tyler Eifert, former Notre Dame tight end, had a great season for the Bengals. I think he caught like 12 or 13 touchdowns. Well, he hurt his ankle in the Pro Bowl and really never was the same after. So, he missed a bunch of time that next year. So I think just the risk of getting hurt was a huge part of it. But, quite honestly, just think about back in the day, football was just football. Like those guys would play anywhere, anytime. Like it was what it was. And then in today's world, it's so much more a business, as opposed to just that's what I do. Like I just play ball. So I think that plays a huge part into it.
Well, last thing, Kyle, we got a question from our live stream here, which is kind of something we'll wrap up here, talking about the catch here, powered by Verizon here at beautiful Pier 66 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. John Harrison wants to know, what species are you guys going to be fishing for in this tournament? We hear a lot about billfish, mahi-mahi. Is this kind of what you guys are? That's the big prize, right? This is the billfish.
Yeah, that's the big one. You're going out there for some good billfish. And, like I said, I know my role here tomorrow. And, hopefully when they get a big one on the line, it's my job to sit down and just start reeling. So put the muscle to work. But if I'm relied on anything outside of that, we're going to be in trouble.
Hey, my money's on you guys. You and Blaine Gabbert. I mean, the man did save someone in a helicopter accident here not far from here. So I think you're in good hands out there on the high seas with Mr. Gabbert.
Yeah, Blaine is avid. He, like I said, he keeps his boat just a marina or two up from here. So we're in good hands with the hometown.
Kyle, thanks so much, man. It's a pleasure. Kyle Rudolph,
guys.
SFC The Catch, powered by Verizon. Tune in.
Best of luck
tomorrow.
out there.
Yeah, thank you.